Hey everybody, welcome back to the Dimension Magic Games YouTube channel. I'm Bobby, and I'm joined by everybody's favorite cast member, Biriarr.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
And we are here to go through these new promos that are coming out in April. They're the TPs at your locals from April through June 2026 to accompany Set 30. And they are all legacy support. So I think they support 8 different decks. So we're just going to go through the support in case you haven't seen it, just like we did with our reveal videos. And then we're going to try and talk about, the decks, how they were before these promos were printed, and then if these promos kind of solve the problem for the deck to see if it can make these, if not meta relevant, at least functioning archetypes. Because not every archetype runs smoothly as the modern ones now. So the first one we're going to look at is for the Sun Goku and Android 18 Unexpected Tag Team deck, the extra card deck. So we got a 1-cost red extra card called Favorable Situation. It has an auto that says when this card in your hand is discarded by one of your skills, draw 1 card. Discard 1 card from your hand, then choose up to one of your red Z unisons with 5,000 power and add 2 markers to it. And then we have an Activate Battle still on it as well. This says Limit 1. If your leader is a red Sun Goku GT card, activate up to 1 Activate Battle still on a red extra with an energy cost of 1 from your hand by paying its still cost. And the next time you activate a red extra from your hand during this turn, reduce the energy cost by 1 specified red. Biriarr, you like this one?
This card is really good. This is primo because the active battle, you're basically doubling up because you resolve everything in order. So you're getting, for example, like a Realm of the Gods active battle, and then the next extra is free. So on offense, this is great because you can like go Realm into Destructo, but on defense, this is also great too because you can do something like Realm or a Bean effect, and then you could Explosive Dance for free or Imposing for free. Imposing clearly has its own thing, anyways, but the opportunities are kind of endless because it makes the the next act it's 1 act battle for free, basically, other than paying the skill cost. But then any red extra gets reduced by 1 red for the turn, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's sweet. And then just the other auto on it where, it's only a limit 1 on that card. So if you had an extra 1 in hand that you had to pitch, it will, filter for you, get some more extra cards in the drop and beef up your Z Unison. So that seems pretty cool. And then there's another red extra card for the deck. It's also a 1 energy red specified extra card that it's called Impulses of Sadness and Rage. It has an activate main. If your opponent has 2 or more energy, play up to 1 Android 18 Deadly Combat Settled from your drop. Then place any number of red extras from your drop under that card. That's the SR from the deck, right, Beer?
Mm-hmm.
Deadly
Correct.
Combat Settled, yep, okay. And then activate battle, limit 1. Look it up to 5 cards from the top of your deck. Place any number of mono red extras into your drop. Shuffle your deck, draw 1 card, then choose up to one of your red cards and it gets plus 10,000 power for the battle. So that seems pretty good to me. Biriarr, you like this one as much as the first one?
I really like this card. This is like multifunctional cards are always great. Being able to put the Android 18 into play from a drop area is a big deal because obviously we're doing effects that say draw discard, but also, and that was always a problem before, it felt bad having to sometimes discard her, but also because we now have access to the new Trunks SR where we can put any card from our deck into the drop area, we can get her there exactly where we need, which is great. But then the act battle as well, letting us thin out our deck is a big deal. Getting that draw, the 10k boost, it's basically another Realm of the Gods on defense, but you also get to thin out your deck by a little more as well. And then on top of that as well, like you can basically thin out your deck by 6 and get a 10k boost, which is kind of cool because you can hit like 5 extras and draw 1, which is cool. But the other thing too is the 18 always only put like I think 3 extras underneath her, but this letting you put any number of extras underneath her basically means if your opponent ever goes wide, you're basically playing like you're like a sniper. You just go boom, 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 boom. All these cards are dead. You just call it a day, and it's like they can't do anything about it. Also, the art is hilarious because she's doing the same kick she did to Vegeta. He's going to feel that for the rest of his life.
Yeah, both of these seem really strong for the deck. It seems like it adds a lot of utility for it. So we kind of tried to identify what the problems were for the deck prior, and we came up with that it requires very precise sequencing. It can be punishing if you don't do things in the right order. It has a fragile Z unison, which was a little bit more detrimental to the deck when Kid Crew was running around. And it also just the archetype battle cards were a little bit underwhelming. So Biriarr, do you think that these two extra cards solve these problems, or just kind of boost the power of the deck?
So I think the extras do help a lot. One of the main issues is because it's a very extra card heavy deck, you ended up in a situation where you sometimes would end up having a lot of bricks, and this lets you gets to use those extras more because the one lets you double up, and that gets them out of your hand, and you end up drawing into other cards that you can actually use. But also having that grave recursion on the 18, like I said earlier, is a big deal because now you have an option where sometimes before you're like, man, I got to choose between discarding my unlimited potential Goku or my Android 18, but I need to play 18 to pop cards. Now you can go, cool, draw one, discard the 18, I'll just play 18 for my drop area. It doesn't matter. Right, so it gave you a lot more flexibility in that aspect, and also giving the Z Unison markers, like +2 markers, is a really, really big deal because what ends up happening is like you end up getting into turns where the Z Unison can do its like actual minus ability instead of its +2, because the +2 is like draw one discard, which is nice, but the -4 is actually really nice. It's draw 2, discard 1, and minus 20k a card. So now you're going to get into situations where after that first turn with the Unison, you can very easily just go, you know what? I don't like that you have that card there. I'm going to -4, kill that, draw 2, discard 1, get my leader effect off, and then I'm going to discard the new extra card, draw 1, discard 1, get something else set up, and also add 2 markers. Now we're back at 3 markers for the Unison, which is really, really nice. Now you just have more flexible lines of play. And also on the note of the ability to recur the Android 18, because we can keep bringing back the Android 18 from the drop, it means we can also use the Z Extra more consistently for the deck. Because that was also a problem before, was you wanted the 18 there too. There's just a lot of like little things like that. And also the permanent letting you protect your 4 less Goku GTs is obviously great, but you'd have to discard a card. And again, it just goes back to, I can just discard 18 and I don't care because I can play her again.
Yeah, this deck seems to be one that stands out to me just as a lot of people have not picked it up and mastered it, but all of the red support they've been printing in recent sets seems to be generic and also always kind of has some ability to like discard cards to filter to help. It feels like it kind of helps this deck tangentially every time that they print red. So I've got your list that you came up with here. Do you have any commentary before we move on to the next deck on this list?
I mean, so with this, obviously I put in cards even including BT30 cards. You know, it just has a lot of like strong synergies you can abuse. Like the fact that Realm and Destructo Disc are like they're just powerful cards already, but the ability now with the new extra card to go, yeah, you know what? On offense, I'm going to Destructo Disc from hand for free because of the other extra, and then I'm going to Destructo Disc from drop with my leader, and then I'm going to Realm of the Gods from hand for free. It's like you start pumping crazy numbers, or you could have like 2 copies of Destructo. You could do 1 from hand for free, like off the Act battle, and then on the Act main, you can just go Act main Destructo Disc and just wipe a board. Like there's like crazy opportunities to do some high level plays that you normally wouldn't be able to before. And then, like I said earlier, the Trunks letting you put anything in the drop is a big deal, and getting that extra Z energy also helps. The synergy with the new Broly SR, because we're running so many extras, we can very consistently have the ability to minus cards ignoring Barry with Broly. There's just a lot of cool tools that the deck has access to that it just didn't before, and now we're kind of riding easy. And also even the Android 13 Unison, right? Like that also just there's just a lot of cool stuff that the deck got, and I feel it's a pretty strong deck. And if you are someone who likes these intricate decks, this might be for you, and I could honestly see somebody doing well with this. I would not be surprised. It's at that level, I feel now, where you could do well.
Yeah, this is one that Klingner plays a bit, and it might not be at the power level of the top red decks, but it has so many battle tricks, and that if you learn the deck and really put the reps in, people are going to fall for those tricks because they haven't played against it a lot. So it can hang when
I think it can
exactly
beat red
sure.
decks, to be honest.
Yeah, if you put the time in and know the matchups with this, it seems like you'll be rewarded pretty heavily for your investment.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into probably a worse deck, but still cool. We're going to look at the Vegeta and Nappa Saiyan Invasion, which I think was like a pre-release leader 7
For
or 8 sets
BT23.
ago. BT23, yep. So we have a Z Unison here, 2 cost Z Unison, 1 Z Energy, 2 specified blue, SS3 Nappa Spirit of Fortitude. It's a 15k. It has an auto once per turn. When this card is attacked, play 1 Cyberman token, and it gains blocker and barrier for the turn. It has an auto once per turn when one of your cards is removed from a battle area by a skill. This card gets 10,000 power for the turn. And then it has a +1 activate main. If your leader is a Nappa card, add up to 2 cards from your life to your hand. Then play up to 1 Cyberman card from your Z deck. Thoughts here, Beer?
This card solves a lot of problems for the deck, and it's really, really nice. Like, getting barrier blockers for free, like telling your opponent, yeah, if you attack this, I'm just gonna get a barrier blocker. Like, forget about the fact that like you're getting a barrier blocker. The fact that it's also a 5k combo is kind of nuts when you think about it. Oh, you attack my Unison, I'm getting free combo power. You're giving me value for attacking me. And the second auto has synergy with the leader itself because the leader can pop cards, pop its own cards to get give something the Champa effect. So the fact that now this Unison that's normally, like, we normally don't care about 15k Unisons, but this Unison can swing for 25k, that's kind of a bigger deal. And being able to now play the Z Saiyaman for basically free, as long as this Unison sticks, is also really, really nice. Because that was one of the more frustrating things, was the deck was very reliant on those Saiyaman, and now you're just playing them for free, which it's super nice.
So that should help. And then there's another promo here, a 4-drop Vegeta. It's a 20k, 2 specified blue energy, Vegeta Haughty Prince. And it says, auto, if your Saiyan or Cyberman card is attacking, you choose one of your battle cards and KO it. When this card is played, switch your card that's in a battle with this card, then switch up to one of your energy to active mode at the end of the turn. And then it has an activate main/battle, limit 1 if your leader has both Vegeta and Nappa. Play this card from your hand, then play up to 1 blue Nappa card with an energy cost of 4 from your drop in rest mode. So this continues kind of with the theme that they have been exploring a lot recently of redirection and switching the target of different cards on attack and on defense. What do you think about this one?
This card is stupendous, in my opinion. This is a really, really, really good card. Because the Unison already free plays the Saiyaman tokens, right? You can swing with the Saiyaman. It's already going to bounce a card, which is already good. And then you pay the one, you play this. You get the Nappa in play in rest mode. It could be any Nappa. It could be the Nappa that draws. It could be the Nappa that plays a Saiyaman token that has revenge blocker. Like, whatever. Like, you have a lot of options there. But then... And then you get the extra energy on tap at the end of turn, which is also, we love having an extra layer of defense, right? But the thing is because it also summons the Nappa from the drop, it pretty much guarantees your leader's active battle, because your leader act battle lets you pop one of your Nappas to give one of your Vegetas 5k and double strike for the battle. So now this Vegeta that they weren't expecting to be in play is now going to be going in for 25k double strike. And then you can just combo on that, and it's like, cool, surprise, here's a Champa. And, I get to untap an energy as well. And whatever Nappa you choose to pop, like, one of them I'm pretty sure draws a card when it dies. So now you just have extra replacement, extra value, because you played it from your drop anyway, so you don't even care. And the Saiyaman that you pop, the Z Saiyaman, I'm pretty sure, unless I'm mistaken, that also draws a card when it's KO'd by a Vegeta skill. Yeah, it does. So you're basically going pay one to play this. It pops the Saiyaman, you draw off the Saiyaman, and then it plays the Nappa. And if you pop the one Nappa, I'm pretty sure that one draws. Let me double check. One moment here. Yep. So you're basically going hard +1. You literally go, cool, play Nappa from drop, pop that draw, pop the Saiyaman draw, and you're like, cool, I get a Champa as well. This is very, very good. This is very, very good, actually. It's very, very solid.
Well, the hard +1 is a good segue into some of the problems that we identified with the deck, lacking draw power. So that already seems like a good one. The 4-Life Awaken. This is going to be a common theme in this video. The 4-Life Awaken can be tough. And a lack of barrier removal outside of Revenge. So did these promos solve some of those issues?
100%. Being, like I said, with the Unison letting you take life, it's a big deal because the leader on the front side, the leader has probably one of the better front sides you'd want in a pre-release leader or anything like that, because it lets you take a life, then top 5 search for any blue Saints. You can grab Beast Han, for example, things like that. So the front side was great, but you still had to be at 4 life to awaken. But now this Unison lets you take 2, and if your opponent already hit you for 1, then there you go. You can awaken on turn 2, and if not, then you're pretty much guaranteed to awaken on 3. And that's really nice. Like, it does help a lot there. Of course, 4-Life Awaken leaders are still very fragile in that they're 4-Life Awaken leaders. A lot of leaders have that awaken at 6 life, have that 2-life sponge, but it is what it is. The barrier removal aspect of things obviously doesn't really get solved to an extent. Like, that's still just going to be a problem. It's still like every problem every blue deck has. But the fact that the one Vegeta plays the Nappas from the drop, and then one of the Nappas, when it's played, plays a Saiyaman token, I believe with Blocker and Revenge, that does technically help you get around barrier to an extent.
Okay, so we also have your list that you came up with here. Seems like a good mix of generic blue cards with the art type and the new cards scattered in. So, any commentary on the list before we move on to the next deck?
I probably should have put in some prospects now that I think about it, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Because we have the Xenison, but that's okay. The main thing here is the deck already has pretty cool synergy with Scouter, which is why I'm running some of these 1-drop, like you see there's the 1-drop Raditz and the 1-drop Vegetas.
Yep.
I'm intentionally running those because when I play those, Scouter lets me play the 4-drop versions of them as well, which lets me get extra lines of aggression to keep pushing and keep attacking. And, making it where any of your Vegetas get double strike is a very big deal, because that also means the dual attack Vegeta from BT27, you can swing with him, sack Scouter or something else, and just pop a Nappa and give it 5k in double strike. Your opponent can't negate the attack, and I'm going 40k double strike. I'm going to dump my hand and you die. It's pretty simple, right? So it's just, honestly, this deck's not bad. To me, it's not bad right now. It's not bad. Now that we have a way to hard +1, we have a way to consistently get our Saiyaman out, it feels like a much better deck than it did before. That was really the biggest hindrance, was getting the Saiyaman out at a consistent level. And it kind of hurt the deck before, but now the Awaken is solved. We have more Saiyaman. We have actual ways to draw more cards, because once you Awaken, you just drew one and that was it, and you just kind of went with it. The deck has just improved overall. It's much, much better.
Well, that's good that they hit what the deck needed. So now we're going to go to another blue deck that, this one's kind of a fan favorite, I would say. A lot of people are into this deck, draws a lot of cards, but it just has not really made it to the top of the meta as people were expecting when this came out in set 26. So this is the SSB Gogeta Mighty Fusion Warrior, and we got 2 cards of support for this. We got an SSG Son Goku and SSG Vegeta Realm of Triumph. It's a 4-drop 15k, and it says auto limit 1. When this card is added to your Z energy by your Gogeta BR card, still choose 1. Place up to 1 Practicing Fusion from your Z deck into the battle area. That's the Z extra. Or reduce the auto skill cost of Practicing Fusion in your battle area by 1 for the turn. And I believe that auto it was 1 energy, and when you played the 8-drop, you got barrier removal.
Correct. Correct.
I want to make sure I get that. And then it also has an activate main limit 1. If your leader is a blue Vegeta BR card and you discard this card from your hand, draw a card. So it's a nice filter there. Thoughts on this one, Beer?
This card's honestly a 10 out of 10. This is probably the best support card of this whole thing, even better than the ones for the Goku 18. And that's saying something, because the Goku 18 support was pretty good. This card is a 10 out of 10. Genuine 10 out of 10. This fixes honestly 80% of any issues this deck had.
Yeah, it is nice that it just solves a lot of the curve, and it also getting more targets in the drop early is super nice. So it also came with a fusion target. We have a 5-drop SS Gogeta Overflowing Fighting Spirit. This is a 15k with Deflect. Union Fusion limit 1, no cost. If your opponent has 2 or more energy, it's a blue Son Goku BR and a blue Vegeta BR. And then it has an auto, place 2 of your Z energy into their owner's drop. When this card is played, activate this skill. During this turn, the next time you play a blue Vegeta BR card with Union, it gains barrier for the turn. So we did another fusion target, a free one at that. What do you think about this one, B?
So, I'll be honest, this card is kind of whatever to me. I kind of annoyed that this is the winner instead of the duo. The duo should have been the winner, in my opinion. The main application here is you have a way without having to commit energy to make it so your leader can active main. And it's also a way to get those cards in your Z energy back into the drop to do another fusion. It's a way to protect certain cards. Like, for example, we play around cards like 4-drop Sin, right? Like we don't want our card skills to get negated, or we're playing around Saiyaman. Well, here we go. We just free play this. Okay, go ahead. I waste your Saiyaman auto, and then I go play my 8-drop, and you can't negate its skills now with Saiyaman. But then when it comes to like the Sin, because I'm turn player, guess what? I'm giving my guy barrier. You can't negate its skills, get stuffed, and you just go from there, right? So it helps deal with those types of situations. But the main thing is it's free, and it's just a free 15k swing. It lets your leader do what it's supposed to do, and then you're not committing as much energy to certain lines of play. Because also that's kind of the problem that these fusion decks always had, is you commit to this energy, and if your opponent has like a Definitive Demon or something to kill them, you're kind of in a really bad spot. And this kind of doesn't care.
Yeah, free is always good. So we identified some of the problems for the deck. The awkward awaken condition, it was just difficult to make that happen. That first card, the dual name that you really like, does help that. It's a very archetype heavy deck, so it limits the amount of generic blue you can run. There's a lot of moving parts in the deck, and it does have a lack of barrier removal. So I know when I was testing the deck originally with Jamal, we were just finding that we were playing like a turn behind. It felt like you had to do in the Goku Frieza and play Prospect, and then hope to kind of get going on turn 3, which in the modern format is it's a little slow. And the 8-drop, your big bomb coming down, very strong card, but the Z extra costing an extra energy for barrier removal, and the card not just having it built in. It was just it felt weaker than other boss monsters at the time, compared to Solidarity or something like that. So do you think it solves all the problems, some of the problems, or brings it up to viability, or no?
I think it solves almost every problem. The fusion, like I said, is whatever, but the dual name, like, I can discard it and draw a card, and now one of my fusion pieces and then drop. Then I fusion summon, I have my Z extra set up. And the Z extra being set up also means that I can Z stack the Frieza and the Whis, which means I have access to a better unison than Goku Frieza, because the Whis is really, really dumb. Like, that is actually a really, really stupid unison. But also, because I've set up my Z extra for free, I have access to cards like Premonitions SS3. I have access to the BT25 Boo SR. Like, there's certain cards you just get access to that you normally wouldn't run before, because it just felt really bad spending that extra energy. And then now we have that barrier removal for free, instead of me having to go pay 2 for Gogeta, then 1 more to remove a card ignoring barrier. It's free, which it should have always been. It always should have been free. It always should have been You play the Gogeta, okay, you can remove the Z extra to remove a card ignoring barrier. That's what it always should have been. Instead of me paying this additional 2 energy tax, it always should have been the case. And it just solved that. So like the deck's flexibility went up. And then also because it's a dual name, you're less reliant on running the Super Saiyan targets because who cares? We can have 8 dual names plus whatever amount of the other ones that we want. Now we have more targets for the fusion, which means we don't have to stuff our deck as much with the other pieces. We don't have to be in these awkward situations because it will happen. It's happened to us where we're testing. We're like, oh man, I have like I have 2 of the same name. I can't do anything. Where now it's like, oh, I have 8 dual names. The chances of that happening are much. It can still happen, but it's far reduced. So the deck just went up a huge level, and then we're also transitioning to a very. I feel it's going to be an interesting meta because I feel that the red decks are really powerful right now, and this deck is really good against red. Red should not, like, realistically, red decks suffer against this to a very high degree. They can't, like, Dance is useless against this deck. The boss monster punishes red for comboing, but red likes the combo. 35k base is too high of a number for most red's generic removal. There's just a lot of, like, pain points that red can't handle. Also, the leader swinging dual attack and can be a 20k dual attack is also another big deal. Like, it just makes Dance less and less effective, and it's really good against that color specifically.
Yeah, it always felt like they just did not do the math on the curve for this deck effectively. Like they just tried to smash too much in to the early turns that you were just never able to pull off effectively. But with the reduction that new dual name brings with it, that really might tie in some of the pieces for it. So I've got the list you've posted here. Looks like you're playing the jacket fusion targets, but you're not playing the kind of the next tier up of the targets. I think there were 3 drops, right?
Yep.
Any thoughts on this list before we move on?
I mean, it's a Gogeta list, right? I mean, the big thing is, I feel like the biggest thing is I put in premonitions. That card is really powerful, and the fact that because we get a Z extra out potentially as early as like turn 1, even maybe, having access to like one of the best blue yellow cards in the game is really nice, and it's a huge boost to the power level of this deck as well because now you can 2-for-1 cards on your opponent's turn. Where like Goku Black lets you like 1-for-1, which is great, and you get a draw, that's great. But this is you get a draw, double striker, rest, and bottom deck. Like it doesn't even compare. It's so good.
Yeah, Premonition's always a sweet card when you can play it in the deck. All right, we're going to move on to the green deck here. We have Cheelai and Lemo, the kind-hearted. We're going to give a little disclaimer here that this is before my time starting playing. I came along in set 11. I've played against it a little bit. As you guys saw, it was featured on the channel probably 8 or 9 months ago with Raymond. He really likes this deck. But we don't have Raymond here, and we might need him. So be on the lookout for content in the future with this list. But I'm going to read off the cards. We got a 4-drop 25k Broly, Feelings of Rage. It's Deflect battle card, and it says, auto limit 1 when this card is played. Play up to 1 green Cheelai BR card with an energy cost of 2 or less from your drop. Then choose all of your green battle cards, and they gain barrier for the turn. And it's played through its activate main. It's a 1 green energy. If your leader is a green Lemo BR card, your opponent has 2 or more energy, and you place this card at the bottom of its owner's deck. Play up to 1 green Broly BR card with an energy cost of 8 from your deck or hand, then shuffle the deck. Beer, you like this one?
Oh yeah, this card's fantastic. We played off the desire card, and then we pretty wiped our opponent's board. We swing with this. We play the Cheelai. We do whatever with that, and then we proceed to play into one of the 8 drops, like one of the 3 different 8 drops you can play. You either triple strike, or you draw and go double, or you swing double and say you can't token negate. Like it's a very cool line of play for the deck.
Yeah, those Broly's are pretty neat. And then there's Cheelai and Shenron, Wish to Save a Friend, and it's a 2-cost, 2 specified green 15k battle card with Deflect. Activate main. If your leader is a green Shenron card, choose all the cards in your battle area and place them at the bottom of their owner's decks. then draw 2 cards. So bottom decking your own board and drawing 2, and it also has an activate main limit 1. If your leader's backside is Cheelai and Lemo, the kind-hearted, and you reveal this card from your hand, add up to a total of 3 cards with Dragonball and or Green Desire cards from your deck to your hand. Shuffle your deck, then place the same number of cards from your hand at the bottom of your deck. So almost like the DripKu Dragon Ball, where you reveal the card and then get to gain some effects, which is much better than having to pitch it. How do you think this one helps the list? Helps the deck?
I mean, the big thing is we don't have to play Oob anymore to get the Dragon Balls, which is always great. This lets you grab the Desire cards as well, which is also super nice. The ability for it to bottom deck your own board seems kind of weird if you look at it at first glance, but this enables you to use Kind Wish because you need to have no cards, you need to have no cards in your battle area. So this letting you get rid of your own board, get that draw 2, and then set up Kind Wish, which will then play the Broly, that will then play whatever else, and bottom decks your opponent's board ignoring barrier. That just enables your late game plays. And the fact that you just go, yeah, I revealed this in my hand. I grabbed 3 Dragon Balls. And then next turn, oh, yes, I revealed from my hand. Grab 3 Dragon Balls or grab 2 Dragon Balls and a Desire card. And then turn 3, you go, cool, I'll just grab 3 Desire cards. And turn 4, I go, cool, I'll grab more Desire cards. You just don't care. You're just grabbing everything you need. And then you just play it and go, cool, I'm going to bottom deck my board and draw 2 more. It's an advantage engine. That's what this card is.
Yeah, it seems like a great piece to add consistency. So we looked at kind of the problems of the deck. One, it's outdated. A lot of the cards are just old, right? They've been power trapped. A lack of synergy. Biriarr, you probably talked about this better, but it does get addressed with the promo that's got printed bottom decking your own board, because a lot of the cards want you to have a clear board, so it's difficult to play cards out and also need to have your own board cleared. Yeah. Wish in general kind of has been power crept. Just all the Wish decks, you can kind of see that happening. And then the deck lacked finishing power. So you did a lot of stuff, but was the juice worth the squeeze? So do you think these promos address some of these weaknesses?
Yeah, I definitely do. Especially with the synergy aspect of things, because before, the biggest Broly you would play would be this red-green Broly, and it had its own little chain and all this other stuff you would do. But the problem is, if you didn't have a way to get rid of it off your own board, you couldn't use Kind Wish. But it's a multicolor. You have to pay 1 to combo it. You have to go through all these other hoops. You got to do this. You got to do that. You got to charge you want to charge a red-green. I'm pretty sure to do that card's ability. There's a lot of hoops you had to do. And we didn't really have good threats. End game, we would just do a million different actions to do nothing. Where now it's cool, I play this Broly, and this Broly swings for 25, and then I play a double striker 35k or a triple striker 35k, and I punch you in the face, right? That's what the deck does now, right? It just plays these big stupid boss monsters and just goes ham.
Yeah, so we're not going to pretend to be experts with the list. We don't even have a list here for you. We're going to work on getting a list on the channel. There's a lot of ways to take the deck, so we wanted to think it through a bit before we put anything out there. So we're just going to move on to the next one with Yellow Metacooler, which is another deck that I don't know if it was ever prevalent, but was around before my time of playing. So I never got to see it in action, really. But we got 2 promos for this. We got a 6-drop Metacooler 25k called Metacooler Steel Hatred. It's critical and blocker. It says auto when this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's rest mode battle cards and KO it. It has another auto. If your leader is a yellow Metacooler card, when this card is removed from a battle area by a skill, place up to 1 core from your Z deck into the battle area, and that's the other support card. And then it has activate main, limit 1, choose 2 of your, and 1 specified yellow energy for this cost, sorry. Choose 2 of your Metacooler cards and place them into their owner's drop, and you can play this card from your hand. Now, normally I'd ask you for your response here, Beer, but I want to read core as well, just because the cards are kind of linked. So this Z extra is 3 specified yellow and 2 Z energy. And it says permanent. The Metacooler core card on top of this card gains double strike. And it has an activate main, limit 1 for 1 specified yellow. If all of your energy is mono yellow, you choose 1 Big Daddy star in your battle area and place it under this card. Play up to 1 the Infinite Force Metacooler core from your hand on top of this card. So, I'm not familiar with the deck at all, Biriarr, but these two cards, are they cool?
Yeah, I'd say these cards are kind of cool. The thing is this deck, like, they've tried multiple times with Metacooler overall. Like, they've tried yellow and green and all this other stuff, and it's always been flawed. But I mean, we knew it, right? It's relentless rats. Like, we knew it's always going to be a troll deck. It's just a for fun deck. It's a locals deck, right? So, we don't have to think too deep into it, but it is a really, really fun deck. The closest it was the BT17 Metacooler leader. That one was really close to being competitive. The support here is pretty nice. I'm still a little iffy on core itself because you want all this mono yellow energy, and honestly, even the list that I posted, I still made it multicolor because, like, whatever. But the battle card cooler though is pretty solid. Like, being able to swing for a 25k crit and then your act battle can make it a 30k crit on this leader is really, really nice. And it's just an additional little boost. It's another name you can use. It also being a 6-drop makes successor builds also better, because you could also run this in the green leader as well. So there's a little bit of flexibility there. But it doesn't inherently fix any problems, because the deck is just the deck by design is a problem. It's just it'll never truly be like a competitive deck. It'll never be anything like that. But it's still kind of better than a lot of other like trollish decks that have come out in the past, right? Like, this is definitely better than like Ginyu Force or stuff like that, But I wouldn't say, yeah, I'm going to play this in a regional or something like that. Maybe in a store championship, I feel like trolling or something, or maybe Trinity, just because it's funny. But it's a locals deck. This is what it is. It's a fun locals deck, and you just have a good time with it.
All right, so you did give us a list here to look at. It is multicolor. You can peruse that at your leisure, but we don't have to spend too much time diving deep into Metacooler. So I think one deck that people are going to be very interested to hear about, a fan favorite, really. SS Sun Goku Fearless Fighter. I always called it DripKu. I don't know what Yardrat Goku. I know Petrillo named
DripKu,
so
baby.
Many names, but the Unison deck from set 17. And I think it's funny that this got support, because over at the Turtle Club, Dylan just did a video where he looked at 5 decks that have never really gotten support and could use it, and this was one of them. So, wish granted. But we do have some criticism for it, but I'll save it until after we read the support cards so we can stay optimistic for a little longer. The first one was a Unison 1 specified yellow 5,000 power SS Sun Gohan maturation process. It's a 5k and power yellow 3, which is important. Auto limit 1. When this card is played, look at up to 7 cards from the top of your deck, add up to 1 yellow Sun Goku card or up to 1 yellow Unison to your hand, then shuffle your deck. It has a +2, activate main, draw 1 card, discard 1 card from your hand. And it also has a plus or -0 activate main. Reduce the activate main skill cost on your leader in your leader area by 2 specified yellow for the turn. So essentially making the 2 energy restand double strike 10k ability on the backside of the leader free. So, thoughts on this one, Beer?
This card is really, really good. I'll be honest. This also can kind of go in other yellow decks too, which is nice, because the +2 in the auto when it's played is actually generic enough. This does help. This does help the deck be more aggressive. Being able to do the active main on the leader is nice, and you can do some cool stuff where, let's say you're at 5 life, you already have like 8 unisons in the drop or whatever. You can swing leader on the front side, or free play, awaken, whatever, and then you could do the +0 on this to make the active main free. Then you do the act main, untap the leader on the awaken side, and then you go swing for the 25 double, and then get the auto again to draw one free play another unison. So it gives you a bit more of a higher ceiling, which is really nice. And like you said, the Empower 3 is a big deal because it pretty much helps guarantee that you can go into the Z Fighter with a good amount of markers.
Yep. So this is a great unison for the deck. Obviously, the other card, I think it's gotten a little bit more hype, but we'll talk about maybe the downside. It is a 4-drop SS on Goku stockpiled power, a 15k. It says auto if your leader's backside is DripKu. When this card is played, during this turn, when you would play a unison with Empower from your hand, reduce the specified cost by 1 yellow. Now, that doesn't say the next unison you play. That says for the turn, reduce the cost. So all of your unisons that turn you played are going to be reduced by a yellow. That reads pretty crazy. Activate main, limit 1 yellow energy. If you have 2 or more energy, draw 1 card and play this card from your hand. Always a good ability. And activate battle once per turn. Choose up to one of your yellow unisons, and it gets plus 15,000 power for the battle. So, Biriarr, I'm going to frame this one nice and easy for you. What was your reaction upon reading this the first time, and then what was your reaction to this card upon thinking about the rules of the game?
I mean, first time I read it, I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be great. We're going to have a great time. And then I remembered the rules. And the problem is not necessarily the rules itself. It's that the unisons for the deck, the ones that actually do anything somewhat aggressive, the ones that can actually do any damage, are empowered to. And what that means is you miss out on a lot of effects, unfortunately, because they're one-cost unisons. Now you're paying 0 to play them. They come in with 0. They empower 2. But all of them basically have autos that say, oh, when it's played, if it has 3 or more markers, draw a card or do whatever, right? So you're missing out on all those autos because they're basically going to have 2 markers because they're empowered 2. So you whiff on the important aspect of things, which means your hand size will dwindle. And, this deck already was not great in terms of hand size, and you're not going to maintain that, really. So, unfortunately, even though this is still really cool, and it does let the deck be more aggressive, which is still nice, it's a more aggressive deck. It doesn't help it all the way.
Yeah, and that's kind of a bummer that I wonder, I really do, I'm curious if they intended that or if they meant it to be like the leader ability where it comes in with a marker and it just won't cost you an energy, but that's just not the way Empower works. So unfortunately, that might be an oversight. We came up with some problems for the deck, and I think everyone likes this deck, so we came up with more problems than maybe the other ones that we weren't as invested in. But the 4-Life Awaken, obviously, we've talked about that a couple times. The hand size for the deck, it's hard to build a very large hand, and you also have these non-comboable unisons in hand, which is a problem. It's 15k spam is, a lot of decks have a bean-like ability, so it is not the best. And then the steep cost on the leader activate main. So this support, it addresses some of these problems, Beer. Do you think it gets enough of them to make it viable?
I don't know if it'll be truly viable. You can make a really fun aggro deck with this. You'd be a brave person to take this to a regional in all seriousness. I would struggle to see this top. I would really, really struggle to see somebody top an event with this. You'd have to face people who only run Flying Nimbus as their only floodgate, as your only line of defense for you to really succeed, I'd say.
Yeah, there's defending friends.
Yeah, exactly. Defending friends, something like that. But they just bean, right? If it's blue, they bean, right? So that's also the problem. I mean, I've said this before too, maybe not on this channel, but I've always said this about the deck, even back when it came out, which was Bandai was honestly really scared to make this deck good. The auto on the front, on the Awaken side being once per turn is really lame, considering you have the ability to untap your leader. Why not let me double up on the auto? I have to go through hoops to do the Act main in the first place. And the Act battle, the Spirit Boost X, the fact that it's also once per turn on your opponent's turn is also kind of trash. Why wasn't this? Why is it once per turn? Just let me Spirit Boost. It's already a vulnerable target, the Innocence. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's just interesting the support because the two cards they gave us here are strong, but it needs a way to build Z energy to be a modern deck, which it has not been
It
given.
doesn't have.
And I know we maybe selfishly shameless plug here. I did a video on Z leaders a week or two ago. This felt like a prime candidate for a Z leader that would combo your unisons or somehow utilize the dead unisons in hand. You know, we just got Krillin that does that with the extra cards. We've got the green cooler deck that always did it. There's a lot of decks that do it, so it would have been nice to see that as an
It's
ability.
nothing
But
new. It's
yeah, I don't know why they refuse to do it. And making the energy cost on the leader way cheaper, free is great. But having 8 unisons to tuck is difficult early game, right?
very
Ideally,
tough.
you'd get to swing on the front side first, and then awaken, and then do that ability and restand your leader on the back side, so you can get that unison on swing twice in a turn. But 8 unisons by the time you awaken, it seems like it's going to be a tall task. So we have a list here attempting to. This is a tough one to kind of square the circle on because of the ruling. You know, this Piccolo might not be as good, the Yamcha might not be as good. So there might be some creativity out there for someone to find a way to make that work with the reduction. But this is a good starting point, I think, if you want to give the deck a shot.
Yeah,
Right.
this list has got a lot of aggressive options. You have a lot of board clear, a lot of board control, which is really nice, and you have good finishers and all that. But you still have the fact of we have like what 18 unisons, and we have like what how many extras? It's like 20. It's like almost 20 cards are just bricks, and then the rest of your deck you can combo basically. So you still have that risk of like just not being able to defend yourself.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of potential if you can just get to the SS4 Gogeta SCR, did a bunch of markers and played Gohan over Gohan over Gohan. You know, that's great. But I don't know if that's your best path. All right, so we'll move on to another deck that's so old I've never played it. It is the Black Majin Buu deck. This I feel like this was I know it was a popular deck, but I feel like people talk about this deck a lot as kind of like a interesting deck, a moment in time maybe. But we got Rage, a Z extra, a 2 energy, 1 Z energy, Z extra card. It has an auto if your leader is a Black Majin Buu or Evil Wizard Bibbidi card, and you place all cards from your hand under this card. When this card is placed in a battle area, play up to 1 Black Majin Buu card with an energy cost of 2 from your drop, and it gains barrier for the turn. And then it has an auto at the end of your turn, add up to 5 cards from under this card to your hand, then remove this card from the game. So what do you think about this one, Beer?
Cards, honestly, for this deck, it's a 10 out of 10. This is exactly the kind of card the deck needs. This is really really cool. Being able to summon your 2-drop, which is basically the starter of your whole chain, from your drop area is a big deal. Being able to give it barrier is an even bigger deal, and the fact that because the leader at the end of turn says if you have no cards in hand, you draw 5, which is cool. That was pretty cool in BT9 when average hand size was 8-9 cards. Like I always draw 5, and I'm going aggro against you. You're probably gonna actually have less cards than me. But nowadays, 5 cards is not enough to survive anybody's turn. So this letting you basically go from like 0 cards in hand to 10 because you can choose the order auto. So you do leader then this, putting you to 10 cards in hand. Yeah, you can actually fight back. You can survive.
Yeah, doubling that ability seems pretty strong. And then we also got a battle card, a 4-drop, 20k, Majin Buu, Aggregation of Rage. And it has an activate main, limit 1, burst 3 for 1 black energy. Discard 1 card from your hand. Play this card from your drop. Additionally, if you have 0 cards in your hand, play up to 1 black Majin Buu card with an energy cost of 6 from your drop on top of this card. And then it has an activate main, limit 1. If your leader is a black Majin Buu card, add this card from under a Z extra in a battle area to your hand. So, does this help?
Yeah, I would definitely would say it lets you forcibly go into your 6-drop, like there's two six drops technically, but like there's the SR and then there's the old promo. The promo's not as good, but the six drop SR is Lord Slug. It literally says it can't be removed by skills, and if it's rest mode, your opponent can't draw off non-leader card skills. So your opponent, like, it's Lord Slug, and you know how many decks there are now that part of the cost of their ability to even be summoned is to draw cards. It stops all those things. So yeah, this is a really really cool card. It's kind of funny that they gave it that second active main to add it from underneath your Z extra to your hand, because it technically doesn't matter because it gets played from drop anyways. But I guess the logic is you add it to your hand, then you act main on leader to put it back in the drop to then do the pay one ability. I guess that's kind of the logic there, but
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting.
All right, so we came up with quite a few problems for this deck, obviously being a little outdated, but floodgates are definitely difficult for the deck. Just the entire premise of the deck where you have no hand, that's an extremely punishing cost to have to bear to play your deck. It's vulnerable to disruption since you don't have a hand size. You can't really respond like other decks can. And then Miguel brought this up when we were looking at these. The awaken could be impeded. So if you had a dead card in hand and you couldn't combo away your whole hand or pitch your whole hand because one of your cards couldn't be comboed, then you just couldn't awaken. So awakening condition seems to be a problem with a lot of these older deck types. So do you think that these cards solve the problem here, or still kind of keep it cool cards, but still trying to keep it in the same spot?
I mean, so the awaken aspect of things, the Z extra letting you put your hand there solves that problem, because now you can just kind of awaken whenever as long as you have one Z energy. It's a lot more safe to disruption because you give your two drop barrier, that's your chain starter, and then you can keep going through your chain. There really isn't much you can do about the fact that the deck is designed to have no hand. Like that is exactly what it's doing. It's designed to do it. You can't do nothing about that, right? But that's fine, and it's supposed to be weak to floodgates. Like a concept like this where you're free playing like 5-6 different battle cards, and there's dual attackers and crit and double strike and a potential triple striker that also says, yeah, you can't even draw off your super combos. Like, yeah, it has, like, there has to be a counterbalance, and it is floodgates. And of course, like, you can still super calm me and stuff like that, and you can just Koitsukai because you're sacking your hand anyways. So obviously extra card floodgates are the way to go against this deck more than a battle card floodgate. But at the end of the day, that problem will never be solved. The hand size and floodgates can never be solved because of how the deck is designed. It's designed, it's intentionally made this way. But the rest of the issues have been fixed, I would say.
Yep, so you gave us a deck list to look at. It does seem pretty similar to what has been in the past, with a few new cards. You got the Bardock Negate, which is pretty strong. The counterplay is in there. So thoughts on this list?
I mean, I think this list isn't bad. Maybe someone else can find something better. The problem with the deck too is because all your cards have to be summoned from the drop area, you really don't want to overwhelm often or at all, which is why you've noticed I've tried to not do that. Like the Bardock Negate is more of a last second resort than something you're going to do on a consistent basis, and among other things. So it's a very honest deck. You're going to do a little bit of aggression on turn 2, but once you hit turn 3, you look at your opponent and you go, I'm going to attack you with this. Do you have a floodgate? Because if you don't have a floodgate, I'm going to keep attacking with everything else. Do you have a floodgate, sir? No, you don't? Okay. I'm going to keep swinging. You better combo out. Did you combo out? No, you died? Okay, that's it. I win on turn 3. Oh, you survived? Okay, I'm probably dead. But oh, wait, never mind. I draw 10 cards. So maybe I do survive, and I'll do it again on turn 4. And then again, you just repeat the process. Do you have a floodgate, sir? No. Okay, I guess you're dead. Oh, you do? Well, I guess I'm dead. That's it. It's an honest deck. There's nothing more to it.
Yeah, drawing 10 cards in one action is going to be kind of cool.
You could actually go to 12 even with the Gray Boo if you do the Act Main on that one and send it from your drop to the warp, because then that lets you, it says you may draw 2. So you can literally go draw 5 off leader, draw 2 off him, draw 5 off the Z extra, and boom, you have 12 cards in hand. It's like, what is your opponent going to do? Like, how are you going to Kill me. I have 12 in hand, bud. And the fact that we can still play the old Boo promo to play the green 5 cost is also funny because the 5 cost, of course, was a hard board wipe, a really, really strong board wipe. And its permanent says, oh, if you want to attack me, you got to discard 2 every time. Like, that's really hard to deal with. That's really, really hard to deal with for a good amount of decks.
Yeah, that card wiping, Z extras and unisons and
Yeah.
definitely can be a big answer to a lot of
And
strategies.
the leader, too. The leader act main is not once per turn, and it literally says, cool, sack a card. I either absorb a 3 or less, or I give my leader 5k for the turn. Like, the leader can swing for really big numbers. The deck was obviously better when, like, Champa was not banned, but it still doesn't change the fact that, yeah, if I want to, I'll just swing 40k with my leader, and yeah, I'm hitting you for 40. Deal with it, buddy.
All right, so the last deck we're going to look at, another black deck, and this is another fan favorite. I feel like people really are excited about this. The SS4 Vegito Sparking Patora Warrior. It did get 2 cards. It got an SS4 Son Goku battling across time and space. It's a 5-drop 20k. Over realm 5. It has counterattack limit 1. If your leader is a black Vegito Xeno card, play this card. So counterattack but doesn't negate. It has a permanent. If you have a black Z unison with a specified cost of 2 in play, you may activate this card's counter skill from your hand without paying its energy cost. And then it has an auto for 1 black energy. Place 1 Vegeta Xeno card from under your unison under this card. When this card is played, play up to 1 Vegito Xeno card with an energy cost of 6 from your warp on top of this card. So that's pretty neat. It lets you play the 6-drop barrier blocker on your opponent's turn. Biriarr, you have thoughts on this one?
This card is honestly really, really, really good. Like, I know, like, earlier today we were all comparing, like, oh, this is like Beyond All Limits, but honestly, this is better than Beyond All Limits. Beyond All Limits, I could only do it on my turn. I still had to do like 10 other actions. This is literally, I'm playing this. You better have a charismatic villain. Oh, you don't have a charismatic villain. Well, I'm going into a barrier blocker, and I hope you have removal. Otherwise, I'm gonna go ahead and start drawing cards again and playing out my boss monster and doing the thing the deck's supposed to do on your turn. And then you go to your own turn and you go, you know what? Oh, I don't have another 6-drop in my hand. I'm just going to overwhelm another copy of this and play another one.
Yeah, that is nice. Getting that consistency
Really, really
is
good.
really
I don't know how else to say it.
And then it got a counterpart, SS4 Vegeta, battling across time and space. It's a 5-drop 20k with over realm 5. When this card is played, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 4 or less and send it to its owner's warp. It has an auto limit 1 if your leader is a black Vegito Xeno card and it's your opponent's turn. When this card is used in a combo, choose up to 1 of your black Vegito Xeno cards with an energy cost of 6 and switch it to active mode. So kind of like a Zarbon for the deck. And then it has an activate battle limit 1. Use this card in a combo from under your black Vegito Xeno card or black Z unison. Now, that's pretty neat because it does not say with its skills negated. It just does the combo ability. So that's nice. What do you think about this one, Beer?
This card is also really, really good. The on play is whatever. Cool, we worked before. That's fantastic. Black already removes everything anyways. That doesn't matter, right? But the flexibility of this is kind of nuts because the lead already, gets you free like 10k combo. This is another free 5k combo. So you literally have on defense or even on offense too, actually, like on offense as well. You're getting 15k free combo power total to work with just like that, which is always dumb. Like that's always a powerful thing. But then obviously, like you said, getting that Zarbon ability is kind of a big deal, right? Because your barrier blocker, your Vegito becomes a 35k when it blocks, and then you combo this and you go, cool, I'm blocking again for 35k. Like, what is your opponent going to do? They better have barrier removal or they're not touching you. Like, it's just not going to happen. And then on top of that too, you can do certain sequences in kind of interesting manners because you could go combo this from hand, like off like a 15k poke. Like, you don't block that with your Vegito for some reason. You just let it through. You just combo this from hand. It's in your drop area. And then you go, cool. You're going to block the next swing. And then you do the +1 on the unison, put this underneath the Unison or the Vegito, and then you go act battle combo, untap the Vegito, and you're just getting like double the value on stuff.
If you combo this though, does that burn the limit 1?
Yes, it does, because you are paying the cost. So I guess there is that to keep in mind. So I guess you would want to block first and then do that. But you get the idea. You can still put it. You can double combo with this. Is the really cool thing, because you can still, like I said, you can combo it from hand, then put it underneath, then act battle combo again. So it's not actually a free 5K. It's actually a free 10K on defense if there's multiple combats, basically. So, it's pretty good.
All right, so we identified some of the weaknesses of the deck. Charging 2Z energy to awaken is definitely a pain point for the deck with cards like Cunning Trio and the Green Broly combo 8 card running around. Finding the 6-drop became a problem once Beyond All Limits got banned, because that's kind of how you were designed to pick it up, was to mill it and then bring in Beyond All Limits and pick it back up. And then just in general, Barrier being power trapped, right? A lot of these archetypes are coming with barrier removal, or if not removal, at least barrier negation built in. So do you think that these promos kind of fix the problems for the deck?
Yeah, for me, I feel it does. Like the Z energy aspect of things, there's not much you can really do about that other than sequence a bit differently or build a little differently. But being able to keep recurring your 6-drop from the warp is a big deal. Barring your opponent bottom decking your 6-drop, you're going to always have a 6-drop to play off the promos. And yeah, barrier being power crept is definitely a thing, but at the end of the day, your opponent still has to have the out. This deck is still a very aggressive deck, and if they don't stall your awaken, they don't stop certain lines of play, you're still going to be able to do 5 damage on turn 2, and you're just going to keep going. Like, I remember, this was even when the deck came out, I remember me and Max, we were talking about this, and the deck, when it fires off on all cylinders, this is one of the most broken decks in the game, period. And even when it doesn't fire off on all cylinders, this is still just a really good deck, right? You go from probably one of the best decks in the game to a good deck. That's not a bad transition. Like, the worst case, it's just a good deck. That's the worst case. And these cards made it more than just a good deck. I feel it's a very good deck, in my opinion, on the worst case scenarios.
Yeah, the issue for the deck is that Pan Xeno is really strong at the moment. Just kind of like a great anti-meta pick. So for this to overtake Pan Xeno is a tall task. But it always, when I played it, it felt like it was, I don't want to be rude, but it was kind of like a noob slayer deck where people that would just swing into you freely and let you Z-charge, like, man, this deck felt so good. But then you would play these guys that just, they'll negate your leader swing and never swing. I'll never forget watching Raymond in one of the regionals. I believe it was on stream. He was playing Red Bulma, and he played against this SS4 Vegito player. And he negated his leader swing 5 turns in a row and never swung. And then he golden coolered him. And there was just nothing to do. I felt bad for the guy. So, like, the weakness to Cunning Trio and that stuff still exists.
I'm gonna be honest, that sounds like a skill issue.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. It's also Raymond, so that happens. But it just would have been nice. Like, Pan, when you negate the leader, you still get to play. You still have to play the little 1-drop Self-Awakeners and try and get a combo step in. With the cards designed for the deck, the 15K guys that you play on turn 1, not swinging, you don't get another opportunity to Z-charge. So it is still a pain point for the deck, but these cards definitely do help. Being able to play the 6-drop on your opponent's turn is really cool. So I want to try it out and see, can we overcome that pain point, or is this just kind of like a fatal flaw that the deck's always going to have unless they just print a free way to Z-charge somehow. But here's a list that you posted here. Anything really drastic stand out from the old way we used to play it, or?
So I don't know how you had it before. Before these recent reveals here, I had it where I was running the BT 12 Gogeta and like the True Fighting Spirits in there, because that was a way to get around that pain point. Oh, you're not going to let my leader swing? Okay, I'll just do that and swing with these one drops instead, and now I can awaken, right? But I decided, you know what, we're going to go all in on this. But the thing is I put in the 5 drops, the Vegeta and the Goku, the ones where if you combo them, you have 2 more energy. At the end of the battle, they go from your drop right to your Z energy anyways. So it gave you a little more lines of playing that aspect. But, we just kind of lean into it. The way I view it is, yes, you're going to get stalled out. But at the end of the day, if I set up a 4-drop Goku, like the burst ones, if I play the burst one 4-drop Goku on one turn, then next turn I set up the burst one Vegeta, you better have killed that Goku, because if you don't kill that Goku, I'm just going to pay 1 more and go into the Vegito double strike, and I'm just going to swing double strike at you, and then I'm going to swing leader calm, like, I don't care, right? I'm just going to play fusion another way, and because I'm fueling my drop area, eventually I'll get to the point where I can overwhelm 4 or overwhelm 5 or something and just keep going, right? Like, you will reach that point where, yeah, okay, you want to stall me? Go ahead and stall me, brother. That's okay. You stall me. I'm at 8 life still. I'm at 8 life. You've awakened. You put yourself to 6. I played a double striker. You go to 4. I do this. You go to 3. Whatever, right? I feel the deck can do stuff, but the support helps. I think the support helps a lot.
Yeah,
the deck feels a little better.
It is good support. I'm glad they printed it. I look forward to testing it and seeing if it can rise back up to the top. It'll also be interesting to see if Worlds passes and a ban list comes out for set 30, or even after Worlds ban list comes out, and if Pan is somehow affected on that list, then maybe this can climb up the power rankings in Black. But for now, those are all the decks that got support. Definitely head to locals starting in April to get this. It's very exciting because January through March have been reprints, which is a good idea if you are lacking those cards. Some of them were hard to find. If you're degenerates like us and you have all the cards, getting the reprints is less enticing to get you to locals. But these are, some cool legacy support. No in-art type support, so we'll have to see what else the reveals bring us. But Biriarr, thanks for putting together these lists and joining me here. And I hope people get some ideas from these and are able to build some decks and get excited to play some of these old art types. So thanks a lot, Biriarr.
Thank you a lot, Bobby. Appreciate being here as always. And thank you to everyone else for watching. Always tune in, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And, always have fun with the game,
Yeah, play Meta Cooler. I guess that's what he's trying to say. Have fun. Play bad decks. Tell all your friends they're really good. Just like beer. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Catch you on the next one.